that China is also helping Iran, according to multiple reports. Now,
China would make sense, though.
Yeah, because
Donald Trump and his chief propagandists were confronted about this moments ago. Donald Trump was confronted about it by a reporter from state regime media, which calls itself Fox. You all know him. Peter Doocy asked Donald Trump about all of the reports that Russia is now helping Iran attack the United States in the region. Donald Trump then attacks Peter Doocy for asking the question and says, you know, I had a lot of respect for you, but what a stupid question you're asking me about Russia. Why would you ask me that question? Watch this interaction as Donald Trump held a press conference moments ago. And if you're wondering, so is the press conference addressing the war? Well, he was asked that question, but no, the press conference was involving Donald Trump trying to stop college athletes from getting paid for their name, image, and likeness. Watch this interaction here. Let's play this clip.
Thank you, President Trump. It sounds like the Russians are helping Iran target and attack Americans now.
That's an easy problem compared to what we're doing here. but can I be honest? It's just, I have a lot of respect for you. You've always been very nice to me. What a stupid question that is to be asking at this time. We're talking about something else. Can we keep this maybe a little bit? Go ahead, please.
Next, I'll share with you what Peter Doocy said after.
Oh, so basically he was just trying to get him to stay on topic or about whatever they were probably talking about. Okay, but it's real, not fake. Russia is actively helping Iran of margins. The two countries have a deep, long conversation and strategic partnership that goes both ways. Current situation, the big news, broader picture. They signed a 20-year comprehensive strategy partnership treaty in 2025. Iran helps Russia a lot. Thousands of shown drones and ballistic missiles for the Ukraine war. Plus, Iran helped Russia. Whoa, build their drone factories inside Russia. What the fuck?
Wow.
Russia helps Iran back recent 495 million deal for Verba shoulder anti-aircraft missiles. Holy shit.
Wow. Okay, so drones
what?
For missiles.
I thought that Trump and Putin were cool.
We're friends, bro.
Cool.
What happened to bits?
What happened, bro? Why are we killing each other, bro? Yeah, a lot of people that Trump were pretty good terms, or at least Jesus. Or at least heading that way. Especially after Trump got back in office in 2012, the real wartime, multiple phone calls starting right after inauguration, like this, and a surprise in the February 2025 ongoing talks about the end of the Ukraine war, and a big in-person summit in Alaska in 2025 met face to face, first time in years. Trump rolled out red carpet, productive meeting, conversation. I mean, Russia readmitting Russia to the G7 from the outside. It looks like budding bromance compared to frosty relations under Biden. But the current situation, Russia is helping Iran testing the vibe. Why is it trying to fucking say vibe and shit? And frosty relations. What the fuck, budding? Like, what the fuck is this grammar? Okay, but U.S. intelligence says Russia is sharing target intel, locating American warships, planes, troops to help Iran hit back. Aid against American interests. Mexico getting involved. Strikes back about a week ago. Trump's are going to inconsequential and brush them off as no big deal. It said it's an easy problem. Damn, he's saying Putin's an easy problem. Sheesh. Sheesh.
Putin.
On the Russian side, Putin condemns that the U.S. is Israeli without naming Trump directly, expresses condolences to Iran's new leadership after losses like their supreme leader. He's avoiding anything that will burn bridges with Trump. Kremlin's spokesperson. Honestly, though, if you were really like this, like if Putin if Putin and the supreme leader in Iran were like this, bro, after a supreme leader dies, bro, you gotta go all in for the guy, bro.
Yeah,
like what do you? If that's your dude and y'all signed a treaty to help each other, bro, you should be bombing the fuck out of fucking Israel right now. Come on, this is a fake ass fucking friendship, bro. What the fuck? Friend Putin. Unless Putin is just like helping, you know, but then he's giving them fucking the wrong information because him and Trump are like this, you know?
Yeah, new friend. He found a new friend.
He found a new friend, bro, a better friend. Yeah. All right, fake, bro. All right, Kremlin spoken says Iran has an attack for troops or major help, and now this is no Putin seems prioritizing keeping things smooth with Trump, mostly for Ukraine negotiations. But after going all in for Iran, Russia has limits too. They're stretched in Ukraine and don't want a direct clash with the U.S. So it's complicated. They're enemies, and Trump hasn't turned on Putin over this yet. The cool dynamic in 2020 isn't dead, but strained by a real conflict. Russia's long partnership with Iran versus Trump aggressively pushes against Tehran. Putin might see the intel sharing as low risk payback or alliance maintenance without. Yeah, I feel like him just giving them a little bit of intel is not much.
So it's not shady. You know?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
No, not shady, but like.
No, it's more of like so he doesn't.
He's upholding
So
the treaty.
So no, it's him upholding the treaty, but then again, it's like low-key fake as shit, right? Because he's not technically helping them fight the war and win the war, you know? Like he is probably in cahoots with fucking Trump still, bro. Let's be honest, bro.
He's adding more to the plot, bro, at this point.
Donald Trump's press.
Live in the North Lawn.
John,
Yeah,
I'd have my
full
breath.
on.
It was a sprint.
So here's the Washington Post report. Indication that another major U.S. adversary is participating, even indirectly, in the war, according to 3 officials familiar with the intelligence. The assistance, which has not been previously reported, signals the spokesperson declined to comment. This is what the White House spokeswoman Anna Kelly said. The Iranian regime is being absolutely crushed. Their ballistic missile retaliation is decreasing every day. Their navy is being wiped out. Their production capacity is being demolished. And the proxies are hardly putting up a fight. That's Trump regime propaganda right there, because we know, and we've been reporting on the fact that Iran is still sending its Shahid drones and ballistic missiles to attack neighboring countries, neighboring Arab nations, where the United States has its interest. We still know the Strait of Hormuz has been closed, essentially. We still know that the price of a barrel of oil is going up significantly right now, and gas prices have spiked, in a short period of time.
Is the Strait of Hormuz still closed? Is the Strait of Hormuz still closed? This will really give us information whether or not Trump has actually defeated them or not. I'm sure they will close, but it's effectively shut down for normal commercial as of March 20th. Yeah, so Trump really ain't got this shit locked down yet. Let's be honest.
Significantly, we know that this is a rapidly expanding war that's spiraling out of control. It doesn't matter.
Are absolutely decimating the rogue Iranian terrorist regime.
Folks, not only does it not matter to this regime,
but then again, it kind of doesn't matter, because then if you're starving your enemy, you got to leave it for a while, You got to shut down all their plants and then let them starve for a while until they surrender, But so even if the Strait of Hormuz is still open, because they haven't truly surrendered yet, because they're still surviving, But eventually they're gonna give up, bro. And this you just have to play the game of just waiting now and watching paint dry, bro.
but you had Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent yesterday removing Russian sanctions, or removing United States sanctions against Russia and United States requirements with India.
So yes, they can still attack our bases and everything, but that doesn't affect America.
Doesn't do anything.
It doesn't affect America. If you're gonna blow up a fucking tent that America has, bro. We're spending billions of fucking dollars on fucking missiles and aircraft. You're talking about a fucking tent that's a couple $1,000s, bro.
allow Russia to sell its oil to India, which was a massive windfall for Russia.
Than anything. Because now they're just prolonging their suffering.
Yeah. Hey, no. They thugs though. Hey,
For the plot.
for the plot, bro. At least they're not giving up like pussies.
Yeah,
They're thugging it out to the just
bitter end.
to the bitter end.
Especially
Squeeze right
as the
now.
price of
Get that grip.
oil skyrockets. That's going to oil to India, which was.
Wait, what is it?
But you had Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent yesterday removing Russian sanctions, or removing United States sanctions against Russia and United States requirements with India to allow Russia to sell its oil to India, which was a massive windfall for Russia, especially as the price of oil skyrockets. That's going to make Russia huge amounts of money. And then Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent
So this is a Russian-U.S. deal, bro. Because Russia's now profiting off of their oil. U.S. is profiting because they're gonna kill fucking Iran oil. This is a Trump Putin deal, bro.
Oh, they're best friends.
moments ago said, you know what we're thinking about doing? Not only removing sanctions and allowing India to get Russian oil, we're also going to maybe do some more unsanctioned. He goes, we may unsanction other Russian oil as well. You may unsanction other Russian oil as well. Now that we know Russia is do you work for Russia? I mean, seriously, does this Trump regime work for? The answer is yes, apparently.
Yes, they
right?
do.
That's how they behave, at least. Watch this clip.
The Indians have been very good actors. We had asked them to stop buying sanctioned Russian oil this fall. They did. They were going to substitute it with U.S. oil, but to ease the temporary gap of oil around the world, we have given them permission to accept the Russian oil. We may unsanction other Russian oil. The other thing Treasury can do here, Larry, is there are hundreds of millions of barrels of sanctioned crude on the water, and in essence, by unsanctioning them, Treasury can create supply. And we are looking at that. We're going to keep a cadence of announcing measures to bring relief to the market during this conflict. And
as Fred Wellman writes, we had multiple reports that Russia is aiding Iran in
Fong, can you grab me a water when you come back?
targeting our troops. And these idiots are easing sanctions? What are we doing here? Who are our service members risking their lives for? And more from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent here, talking about the way the military campaign is going to look tonight against Iran. Tonight will be our biggest risking their lives for. And more from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent here, talking about the way the military
said tonight will be, and
this is something that we can't
Now
just
they're just gonna let Iran starve for a fucking few days, okay? They can send all their missiles to the fucking tents that only cost a couple of $1,000s.
Or hundreds.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're losing hundreds of
Hundreds.
thousands.
We're losing
Hundreds of thousands, bro.
We're losing so bad, guys. Oh my god.
Please.
like drift out of the news
No
cycle.
more.
So give me a minute to highlight some important info. So I want to flag a new analysis from the Harvard Chan School of Public Health on why this all matters so much. The endangerment finding was the legal and scientific basis that allowed the EPA to regulate greenhouse gases under the Clean Air Act. Back in 2009, the government determined that gases like carbon dioxide and methane threaten public health and future generations. That decision gave the EPA both the authority and the responsibility to limit pollution from vehicles and power plants. According to Harvard's climate and health experts, removing that foundation could mean more fine particulate pollution from burning fossil fuels. That's linked to higher risks of asthma in children, chronic heart and lung disease, and premature death, especially in communities near highways, power plants, and industrial sites. And long-term, the health impacts grow. Hotter days are tied to more hospitalizations and preterm births, warmer conditions worsen ozone pollution, wildfire smoke increases respiratory illness and mortality, and climate-driven storms can disrupt access to medical care. So yeah, this is a massive, massive deal. Harvard researchers warn that this rolling back puts real health protections at risk. Cleaner air has been tied to longer life expectancy and fewer
You were not born here, dumb fuck.
asthma attacks in kids. So for all those make America healthy again people, this totally flies in the face of that promise. This is why it's so important that we keep making noise about this and push for future administrations to restore the finding.
He has asthma, autism, retardism, Down syndrome. He has all of it, guys.
So I want to hear from you. Leave a comment.
Okay.
Tell us what you
Yo, you cannot be doing that, bro.
think about this decision by the Trump administration. I want to hear your thoughts on these reports that we're doing on climate issues, how Trump's destruction of climate policy has
Oh yeah, he got ticked.
Whenever
It's
I
ticked.
hear that the word,
Yeah.
affected your health, your electricity bills, jobs in your communities. I want to hear all of it. So again, make your voice heard in the comments now.
bro, trying to boost
Ben-
engagement, bro.
If you have ticks, what is the syndrome called? What's the syndrome called for people that have ticks? You should know if you have it.
Economics.
No, you
Back to you.
As I'm recording this, you see
goofy ass. How you gonna say you have ticks and you don't even know what it's called?
It's called economics.
No, it's not. Goofy ass.
the footage of extensive U.S.-Israeli airstrikes hitting Amirabad International Airport in Iran's capital of Tehran. I mean, take a look right here at
I'll give you a hint. It ends with rets.
what that looks like. Caroline Levitt
Okay.
was
Still
asked
wrong,
at
but
that
okay.
press
Close.
conference also, is Donald Trump satisfied with the pace of the United States investigation into whether the U.S. military hit the Iranian school, the elementary school? So we know right now this happened. It's a fact. The U.S. Attacked a little girl's elementary school in Manab, Iran, and killed over 150 little girls and boys and like 175 people in the elementary school. So what's the latest on it, Caroline? We're still investigating that. Here, play this clip.
President satisfied with the pace of the investigation into whether the U.S. military did hit that Iranian school. The White House concerned with the United States.
Again, as I said at the briefing 2 days ago, I don't have any updates with respect to the investigation. I would expect those to come from the Pentagon. For Haley.
Now, as I mentioned earlier in this video, the press conference that Donald Trump had earlier today technically had nothing to do with the war, the disastrous war. He still hasn't addressed the American people formally yet to explain what the hell is going on. But what the press conference was
I
on
mean, wasn't Iran fucking killing a bunch of kids anyways? So it's like,
Honestly deserved.
so how you gonna blame America for killing a couple hundred that got caught in the crossfire? Whereas like they were killing thousands of kids.
If anything, they're funding that shit to the
on was, again, not paying college athletes for their name, image, and likeness. And Donald Trump starts talking about how he wants to sign an executive order himself. He's going to come up with an executive order so that college athletes don't get paid money right now. Here, play this clip.
All right, so I think he qualifies, right? But I'd like to sit down with some of the very talented people in this room, and we'll pick them out if you'd like to volunteer. And I'd like to sign an executive order that I'll write myself based on common sense. And it'll be something that people will be sort of happy about. Some will be sort of happy, others will be sort of happy. And maybe that's a good thing. There'll be a few people that won't like anything. But I'd like to write an executive order based on some of the very great talent in this room.
So a reporter says, okay, well, if you're not answering questions about the war against Iran, will you answer a question about, I don't know, what was ultimately behind your decision to replace Kristi Noem with Mark Wayne Mullen? You want to talk about that? Because Americans actually have questions for you about things other than your desire to make sure you answer a question.
And maybe that's a good thing. There'll be a few people that won't like anything, but I'd like to write an executive order based on some of the very great talent in this room.
So a reporter says, okay, well, if you're not answering questions about the war against Iran, will you answer a question about, I don't know, what was ultimately behind your decision to replace Kristi Noem with Mark Wayne Mullen? You want to talk about that? Because Americans actually have questions for you about things other than your desire to make sure college athletes don't get paid. Here, play this clip.
Now you're into a brand new system. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Mr. President. Thank you. Could you tell us what went into your decision to replace Secretary Noem with Senator Mark Wayne Mullen?
Is it possible to stay on this subject just for once? Just for once. Boy, oh boy.
So then a reporter's like, okay, if all you're going to do here is now talk about not paying college athletes, why did you not invite a single college athlete?
Honestly, he should have talked about it. I mean, you're here for the people, So then, if they want to ask questions, you gotta ask. You just kind of gotta answer it, Regardless if it's a little off topic, you're just asking questions. Everybody has random questions, It doesn't really have to stay on topic all the fucking time.
College athlete representative to be here. Did you think about that? Here, play this clip.
The judge. Maybe we'll get a wise judge. There are wise judges too. We got some very brilliant.
Because Trump has always responded pretty well to the off guard type of comments, and he always has a good comeback for it sometimes, or a really good response, But this time around, he's just deflecting.
Wise judges. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Why aren't there any student athletes in the room? Why aren't there any student athletes in the room?
Do you want to answer that question, Randy?
We've made it clear, and I thought I said it before, that we have agents here. There are a lot of student athlete groups. There's a limited room here, and after this meeting, we intend to talk to all of the interested student athlete groups to get their input, because this can't be done without them.
Now, going back to Caroline Levitt right here, she's asked an important question. So earlier today, Donald Trump said Iran must do an unconditional surrender, demands Iran's unconditional surrender. So what does that mean, Caroline? And then she goes, it means when Donald Trump says they surrender, when Donald Trump decides they've surrendered, we say they surrender, regardless of what they actually do. So as our editor-in-chief, Ron Volopkowski, writes, so even if they don't surrender, Trump will call it an unconditional surrender and declare victory. And I think as gas prices continue to go up, Donald Trump's getting closer to doing that. Here, play this clip.
What does the president mean when he calls for unconditional surrender? Is he saying that the regime has to fully relinquish control?
What the president means is that when he, as commander-in-chief of the U.S. Armed Forces, determines that Iran no longer poses a threat to the United States of America and the goals of Operation Epic Fury has been fully realized, then Iran will essentially be in a place of unconditional surrender. Whether they say it themselves or not, frankly, they don't have a lot of people to say that for them, because the United States and the state of Israel have completely wiped out more than 50 leaders of the former terrorist regime, including Supreme Leader himself.
Thank you, Caroline.
Now, as we've learned about Russia's involvement in the war, as the Iranian parliament speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf says the following: Americans will come to understand that the fate of dear Iran, which is more precious than life, will be determined solely by the proud Iranian nation, not by the Epstein gang.
Who the fuck is this dude? This dude is actually an op, bro. Who the fuck is this dude? Why is he over here criticizing the president nonstop, bro? He's your fucking president at the end of the day, bro. Even when Biden was president, I still gave that man respect, bro. Who the fuck is this op? If you can't see the bigger picture of what Trump is trying to do, bro, you are definitely blind. All right? This is some op territory. We're in some op territory. We're knee deep in op territory right now. Holy. We're gonna keep trying to watch this though. But damn, we are knee deep in op territory.
Donald Trump is now seriously considering ground troops in Iran, NBC reports. Donald Trump has privately expressed serious interest in deploying a limited number of U.S. ground troops inside Iran for specific strategic missions, though no decision or orders have been made, according to multiple U.S. officials. So, folks, things are getting absolutely...
These are fucking tents that are only a couple 100,000, bro. This is nothing. Look, we got the old ass fucking Jeeps and shit over here, bro. This is not gonna cost us shit. I don't think they understand the fucking American budget. All right, we go big or go home over here, bro.
Absolutely spiraling out of control right now in the region. Tell me what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at
He's fucking ops. MeidasTouch, you're a fucking op, bro. Whoever this guy is, he's a fucking op. Never fucked up for so many years. You're not even in World War III, you dumb fuck. Who do you know that's gotten actually drafted? Holy shit, these people are retarded. Send your sons and daughter, Trump. Okay, if it comes to it, I bet you he fucking would. Instead of your pussy ass, weak ass kids, bro. Holy shit, they're just gonna go in and die. All right, every girl that was killed or injured in the school. All those attacks who gave the attack order should be held responsible for the many deaths of every little girl. Yeah, honestly, they shouldn't be killing people. But then again, the Iranians were killing multiple kids, okay? Before America even got there, okay? So they're already fucking up their own society before we got there, okay? So couple accidents here and there, okay? Justified. Justified. All right, let me hop out of here, though. Let me hop out of here before I get my fucking, my blood starts boiling, guys.
Hours since Donald Trump fired Kristi Noem, and she is already going to war with her former boss. The MAGA civil wars that we love to see, they keep on popping off, and there's a good reason this time. It is because on her way out,
I mean, it's like, if you have an employer, an employee, I mean, if you have an employee and they want to question everything you're doing, okay? When you have that shit already planned out, you have an employee that questions why you do this, why you do that, why you do this, this is wrong, this is that. You're just gonna fucking fire them at that point. Holy shit. Ain't nobody got time to deal with fucking employees like that. If you owned a business, you fucking know. You're not gonna sit here and fucking argue with people who have different views than you, okay? Because you're trying to build a fucking business and it's going fucking insanely well. You don't need randoms coming in fucking trying to like change everything. Like, what the fuck? Not everybody's perfect too, you know?
Donald Trump decided to really nicely set up Kristi Noem to fail and go to jail, because not only was she delivering a speech when she got the bad news of her ouster, but Donald Trump also implicated her, saying very clearly that she perjured herself before Congress. And so now Kristi Noem is going to war with Donald Trump. And I don't think she's going to win this one. I don't think Trump will either, but I am going to enjoy the fighting. And like I said, it started with Kristi Noem's congressional testimony, which ultimately is what led Donald Trump, her being such bad TV, to kick her out of the cabinet. It's where I want to start. Joe Neguse questioning Kristi Noem about the issue.
I'll read from the notice from your agency. Given the immediate action to significantly reduce illegal immigration and border crossings, DHS identified 4 companies. 4. Of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States, you identified 4. One of those is this Safe America Media company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll
Because
tell you
was
about
done
it.
According to
Madam
law.
Secretary,
It
the
was done by career
address is
officials.
registered to a
It
political
was
operative.
dollars that were spent
Madam Secretary, the
to
company,
inform
and then
people
I'll give you an
that the
opportunity to
laws-
respond.
Look.
The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out. You want the American people to believe that this is all above board?
Non-answer after non-answer after I don't know. But the one thing that Kristi Noem, in all of her lack of knowledge, I guess, as she was claiming in that testimony, the one thing that she did know for sure is that Donald Trump, of course, approved this ad campaign, that he couldn't be more excited about it. But that's certainly what Kristi Noem wanted. It's important to recognize that she specifically targeted these ads to run at Mar-a-Lago so Donald Trump could see her on her horse and think, well, quite frankly, Kristi is doing such a great job. Americans are being killed in the streets, but doesn't she look great?
Americans are being
Doesn't
killed.
she look great on that horse? That is what she expected to go through the mind of the president, which does go to show just how stupid the people around him are. But Donald Trump had a different response when he was asked about Kristi Noem saying, 100% Donald Trump was in support of this ad campaign. What did Donald have to say? Well, what he did have to say incriminated Kristi Noem.
I like how he criticizes like fucking Trump, but then again, you look at his fucking whole channel, bro. All he does is criticize Trump for what he does, bro. But then all he does is dick ride the dude. Like every single thumbnail, every single fucking video. How you gonna criticize a guy? Look, Trump's speech goes wrong quickly. Look, he's judging this guy over and over and over and over and over and over. But all he does is fucking like you're meat riding. You're meat riding this man just to get views, okay? Like, come on, bro. What do you mean progressive Gen Z political commentator, bro? You look old as hell too. What are you saying?
Donald Trump's parting gift to Noam, a suggestion that she lied under oath. Either Donald Trump isn't telling the truth or Kristi Noem seems to have committed perjury. There's not really a third alternative at this point because Trump on Thursday could have just relieved Noem of her duties as he did, but he didn't stop at that. He also repeatedly appeared to deny portions of her testimony, which she gave under oath to the Senate this week. Specifically, Trump took issue with her claims that he was aware of and had approved a controversial $220 million Department of Homeland Security ad campaign that prominently featured Noam. The ad campaign is controversial not just because of the dollar amount and how much it promoted Noam personally, but also because it resulted in a lucrative subcontract for the husband of a now former DHS spokesperson, according to a report by ProPublica. Noam repeatedly signaled in her testimony that Trump was aware of and even approved of the ad campaign. Trump is telling a very different story. I never knew, quite frankly, anything about it, he told Reuters on Thursday, shortly before Noam was ousted. Quite frankly, I didn't know about it, Trump added later in an interview with NBC News. So Donald Trump is openly saying Kristi Noem was lying. Kristi Noem was lying before Congress. She said that Donald had his fingerprints all over it, that he was totally involved, that he loved the ad, that he directed it, that he gave me notes on the cinematography. He said, quite frankly, what a great horse, Kristi. Can we get more of them? We love the horses. Year of the horse. That's not what happened. And so Kristi Noem, seeing that Donald Trump, as he never does with the people who he surrounds himself.
This guy's pretty fucking funny though. I ain't gonna cap. He keeps doing like these like fucking Donald Trump impressions, and he meat rides him. But then again, he starts hating on him like every fucking second.
With the people he gets rid of, yeah, he does suggest Trump lied about us. Okay. Questioned about the $200 million.
We have a couple liars we have a couple rats in the house, and what, bro?
In advertising that she authorized that featured her prominently on horseback at Mount Rushmore. It was an ad campaign about border security, and she told Congress...
Can't even trust your own brothers nowadays. Holy shit. You trust a fucking random woman?
The president approved the campaign, even though he did not, said Heinrich, who also noted that there are private prisons, they're trying to save herself. And Kristi will continue to try to save herself, and this is very important, and I want to talk about it a little bit more later. I have a lot I still want to hash out with Kristi Noem. But what I think is important to recognize here is that Kristi Noem's not going away. In the same way that Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't going away, and in the same way that even if Thomas Massie loses his primary, which I don't know if that will happen, there's a lot of money in that primary, by the way. A lot of very pro-Israel and Israeli billionaires spending money to get Thomas Massie out of office. Might I point that out, those same people who also try to back and do back centrist Democratic candidates. That's a story for a different day. But these people who are ousted from MAGA or fight with MAGA or kind of go out on a sour note, they are sticking around. Do you think Kristi Noem's in this for public service? And she thought, well, I did my duty.
You're sour about Trump, but you're still sticking around, bro. What are you talking about?
To my country. No. She wants to get her bag, right? She wants to get her money. She wants to get her blanket with Corey on Air Force One or whatever plane she can get us to fund, which, of course, is not going to happen anymore. But Kristi Noem's sticking around. She has her dumb little title. She's going to be floating around the administration. She'll be leaking a little bit, trying to cause problems for Donald Trump. But she wants to undermine Stephen Miller, who, if he was in another Republican administration, certainly would not, aside from the fact that she thought targeting those ads at Mar-a-Lago, all these Republicans are. So she's going to stick around. And if she thinks saying that Donald Trump failed on the border and Donald Trump wasn't doing enough on the border, and maybe it was Stephen Miller's fault, and he was holding us all back from the deportations that we really wanted, oh, she's going to do that. And she's going to leak it. She's already leaking. It's been 24 hours and she's already leaking that the White House failed. So she's going to be picking fights. She's going to be distracting them all. And I love that. And during this opportunity in which they are infighting, Democrats need to be united in one thing, and that is the opposition towards the confirmation of Mark Wayne Mullen. The strongly worded,
I mean, people like this are more worried about internal politics and U.S. internal civil politics rather than understanding how geopolitics works.
In this case, softly worded letters are already coming from Chuck Schumer, who, when he was asked whether the Senate would vote to confirm Mark Wayne Mullen, he kind of said, unanimous vote. He owes him leverage over TA. But everyone else, besides, maybe I just don't want the people who run my party to be also taking money and bossed around by those who are trying to, increase their power under this oligarchy-run government and enrich themselves and hurt Americans and build concentration camps and create data surveillance profiles over all of us. Maybe I don't want Democrats taking their money. I don't think that that's a purity test. So that's some bullshit. And we're going to call out all the bullshit, even when...
Good. I love when people call out the bullshit. I love that. Okay? Leaves room
it's in
for
our
discussion.
party.
But
And if you want to support that as always...
you dick riding Trump on this whole entire channel, bro, come on, bro. Now you're just milking that shit for views, bro. And you're not even fucking reporting real news, bro.
Epic fury.
And to strike, we understand.
Friends. Through
I think we saw a video like this already.
He says,
America's bomber force has struck nearly 200 targets deep inside.
extraordinary lesson in American
Creates our ability, obviously, on a day-to-day basis. And we have to do what we
deteriorating before our eyes. He's wearing makeup on his neck, on both of his hands to hide the rashes and the discoloration. It appeared yesterday a foul smell emanating from him when he was with the Miami Football Club. He brought in the Miami soccer team and started talking about the war in front of them. And then he started saying how handsome they were, but that he doesn't like good-looking men, and he wanted them to know he doesn't like good-looking men. It's really just atrocious what was happening yesterday. And then
That's not
we
even
also
that
learned
atrocious.
that
What
Donald
are you saying, bro? He's clearly fucking joking, bro. Look at dude, you're so fucking stressed. Look at your fucking dude. Look at his forehead. They're wrinkling like crazy, bro. Stop stressing over some bullshit.
Trump has not been really exercising any decision-making authority at all over the Defense Department. There was the Undersecretary of Defense, a guy by the name of Elbridge Colby, who testified yesterday in the House of Representatives and earlier in the week before the United States Senate. And he kept on talking about decision-making frameworks that he utilizes, that the Department of Defense utilizes to make decisions. And then the members of Congress from both parties were just asking him, so what about you carrying out Donald Trump's view? What's Donald Trump's order? What's Donald Trump's plan? What did Donald Trump ask you to do? Why was this decision made? Why was that decision made? And Elbridge Colby's like, well, I'm not really sure, but I'll have to consult with the decision matrix that we use. And the lawmakers were like, a decision matrix that was used? What are you talking? What were you told to do? I'm going to have to look at the decision matrix, as though Donald Trump has no clue at all what the hell is going on around him, whether it's dementia or dementia-like symptoms or something else. Donald Trump is out there talking about golden ballrooms and triumphal arches and how do you like my performance? Did I do a really good performance here? That's how Donald Trump's referring to the war. Now, did I do a good performance? He called up like Jonathan Karl and other reporters. You like my performance? And then what was it? 2 or 3 days ago when he was in the Oval Office with the Chancellor of Germany, Friedrich Merz, Donald Trump is like, my mom was from the UK and my dad, Fred, he was born in Germany. Your dad was not born in Germany, Donald. He was born in New York City in 1905. I mean, we are watching someone's cognitively fried brain further deteriorate while our troops are put in harm's way. And we have the Department of Defense, which unlawfully refers to itself as the Department of War, utilizing like AI and decision matrices to try to extrapolate what the hell Donald Trump means from all of his deranged behavior. Let me just show you here what Donald Trump said earlier this week, saying that his dad was born in Germany when his dad was born in the United States. I mean, pretty basic thing to screw up there. Here, play this clip.
That country, UK, and I love that country. I love it. My mother was born there. I love it. My mother was born there. My father was born. Like he knows all about my father. My father was born there. So, you know, there are places that you sort of automatically very feel warmly about. But the UK, what they're doing with energy and what they're doing with immigration is horrible.
And then when Donald Trump held this press conference yesterday about the war, he did it in front of the Miami soccer team. And Donald Trump.
Hold up. There was not a single thing this dude was just talking about that was relevant to what he was just talking about. So he's over here saying, like, Trump has dementia. He was calling saying his dad's from fucking Germany or whatever. And then you play the clip, and it's just him saying his mom's from fucking UK. What is going on, bro? Who has dementia here?
Looks around and says, look at all these good-looking people. Look at these good-looking. I don't like good-looking men. I don't like good-looking men. Here, play this clip.
These are good-looking people. Marco, I don't like good-looking men.
Bro is just blowing a clip out of proportion. Like, what the fuck does this have to do anything with his dementia? Bro is just a Trump hater at this point. He sounds like one. He speaks like one.
And this is the biggest pessimistic. Look, you can literally hear the whole fucking room laughing, okay? Everybody understands this is a fucking joke, all right?
It's a fucking sarcastic
It's a fucking joke. Fucking retard, bro.
You don't feel so good about yourself standing up here.
And then he goes on to talk about how gas prices are
This way we can have a better debate by listening to fucking retards. Like, with fucking
very low right now. Maybe a little detour, but they're very low. Gas prices
bro is stressed over nothing, bro.
are going through the roof right now. Play this clip.
To the Gulf, as you know, pretty dangerous territory. Further action to...
You know, if his job to rage bait us is actually working.
We gotta try harder. I think we're not trying hard enough.
You know what? This guy's right, though. Trump, he really hates good-looking people. That's why he eats baby in the Epstein file. That's why he hangs around little girls, because they're better looking.
Reduced pressure on oil is imminent, and the oil seems to have pretty much stabilized. We had it very low, but I had to take this little detour if it's okay with everybody. Scott, it's okay with you?
And then Donald Trump started posting videos on the White House account, or they were posted on his behalf, saying justice the American way. And it was videos of the movie Gladiator, videos of the movie Transformers, videos of Star Wars and the Sith Lord, videos of, you know, just random movies. I mean, what?
Dude, I can't believe Trump actually did that shit, bro. Like, why is he copywriting shit, bro? Like, he's stealing people's work and he's making it into a fucking movie. Like, he's actually out here celebrating people's death, bro. Like, war should not be something you should be celebrating over. Like, why are we making a whole ass trailer for it? That's fucked.
What the heck is going on here? Here's a photo of Donald Trump, by the way, with the German chancellor.
You're on the wrong side, buddy.
Oh, I thought we were rage baiting.
So you can see the angles
You can rage bait, but on the right side.
of their body right there. So let me show you what went down during this questioning by Congressmember Bill Keating to that undersecretary.
I'm limitless pill, okay? I'm not red pill, blue pill, black pill. I'm limitless pill.
I'm rainbow pill.
Secretary of Defense Elbridge Colby, where Keating's like, who made the decision? Who is making these decisions right here? He's specifically talking about a decision to stop providing arms to Ukraine that were promised to Ukraine. Remember, they stopped over the summer, and then Donald Trump's like, I didn't do it. I didn't do that. And so it's like, who is making these decisions? Watch this moment right here. Let's play this clip.
Well, I'm asking you, who the hell made that decision that endangered so many people's lives?
Sir, there's a memorandum.
Everyone's, you're like the 3 months, see no evil, hear no evil.
The
What is this
alleged
story?
pause, I'm not in a position to order a pause. I didn't order.
Then who did?
Presume to order a pause. I don't actually know.
The president
I'm not
didn't
sure.
by his own
We can
admission.
get back to you with a more
How can you
detailed
be
answer.
in your position?
But one thing I
in
can
your
say-
office, sir. This is your office. This is your responsibility.
Right. I'm a
and
policy
you can't tell
advisor,
me
sir.
who made a decision like that jeopardized the lives of so many people.
The framework in the memorandum
I don't-
is not designed.
Cortisol level spiking to the max right now. Holy shit, the rage bait.
I don't want the framework.
That's what we provide.
Again for a second.
And sir,
I asked you.
What
I didn't ask you about the framework. You're trying to talk over me. It's my
which is
question
provided
to you.
Ukraine
Who?
an ongoing way with weapons.
We
In
all
fact,
know who's trying to overtalk who, bro.
Like, bro, let him answer the question, bro.
You old blind fuck.
Let him answer the goddamn question.
sold by the United States in line with presidential intent, which I
all right, let me. It's like you're listening, but you're not hearing.
Yeah.
Like, I hate people like that, bro. Holy shit.
Move on here.
And I had the privilege
let me
to
move
represent
on
the
with the
Department
chairman
at
asked
the
the question
last
of
month.
you.
Then I'll show you another moment here where Elbridge Colby was being examined here at this during this committee, and he kept on going back to like his.
Whoever's fucking believing whatever this ball freak is saying, like, dude, you have like some fucking missing chromosomes and shit. Like, you don't have to be this retarded to fucking listen to this motherfucker speak all day long, bro, and then fucking play along with the fucking narrative. All right, you must be bored out of your goddamn mind.
I'll have to look at my decision matrix. I'll have to go back to my memo that we wrote. And it's like, no, where are our brigades? Who's making these orders? Who's doing these things? I want you to watch as this went down. Play this clip.
Okay, so we will not be dropping below 4 brigades in EUCOM in the foreseeable future.
Sir, I want to be careful to preserve the president's decision space, and I'd have to go back and specifically look at what the president said and the instructions he's given us. But, my point is that we will absolutely, I make it a point of pride and a point of focus to ensure that we're tightly aligned. We do that through, I particularly through Secretary Hegseth, who's with the president every day. So we have a very, very tight alignment with the president. And this is his defense strategy. This is his War Department, obviously with the Congress, needless to say. But you can rest assured, sir, that we are in tight alignment with President.
I have a real concern about that. When 2 days after the president said there'd be no significant changes in U.S. force posture, you announced that you were taking a brigade out of there. But now,
I would just stress, sir, that the Department of War, and I would once again stress that I'm not in the chain of command. So those decisions, I'm not even, and I don't presume to a level of authority that I have.
Bro's trying to not get fired, bro. He's like, I don't know, bro.
No,
please.
He's actually saying that he has no power over anything. They're over here trying to prosecute his ass. Like,
not been given by
the bro do.
You got the wrong guy.
You're actually
Congress and the president.
Wrong guy. Like,
so I just, I'm here to represent the Department of War. These are decisions by the Department of War under presidential guidance.
Look, and then you had Republican Congress member Mike.
It's like when you call for customer service and about some fucking products or a fucking refund, right? And then they can't fucking issue it to you, and you start blaming the fucking workers. Like, what are they supposed to do? They're just following the guidelines, man.
Undersecretary of Defense, Elbridge Colby, that's the title, Undersecretary of Defense. He's the number 2 in the whole Defense Department, right? He's Hegseth's right-hand guy. So he's actually the one in charge of these decisions. And here you have Mike Turner saying, what the hell is going on here? Who's in charge? Who's telling you to do these things? Is Trump ordering you to do these things? What in the world is going on here? Here, play this clip.
And I want to just say, I want to agree with the chairman. What's been so difficult and which is really kind of gross sitting here listening to you is the chairman has said he feels like you're dishonest, right? And you have been so disingenuous. Every time you answer a question, you feel this need to just continue on in this, in these clarifications that are really very unnecessary. And that this clarifications that you give make us all concerned about your commitment to the truth. And I want to give you some of those clarifications that make me uncertain and really very concerned about the policy making within the department. You talk about the Trump administration when people ask you questions about the president's decision making. When we're asking about President Trump, you redefine it as the Trump administration. You say our decisions are aligned with the president, as if you're reinterpreting the president's decision making. I want to know about the president's decision making, not you being your interpretation about being aligned. So tell me you're not trying to make decisions where you're just divining an alignment with the president and interpretation that President Trump is the one making decisions, because up here, we're losing confidence as to whether or not Mr. Colby's going into a room and trying to decide whether or not he's aligned with the president or whether or not President Trump's making decisions because...
Then Donald Trump talked about how...
Bro, just saying a whole lot of nothing.
In his own mind, he's getting phone calls. They're calling to say, how do we make a deal? Referring to Iran. They're calling me. They're all calling me and saying, I want to make a deal. Here, play this clip.
I said, what's left? But they're tough. and they want to fight. And they're calling, they're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do.
And you all realize how humiliating this is? That then the Iranian foreign minister, Archie, he goes on and he's like, yeah, we're not calling you. We've made no call. And he's going on American media, NBC, to say, yeah, we're not making any phone calls at all. Here, watch this.
Is Iran privately talking to U.S. officials right now through back channels?
No.
There's no communication with you and Steve Witkoff or Jared Kushner?
No, not after Thursday that we met last time. We met last Thursday. We negotiated for almost 7 hours. They were so happy when they left the negotiation table because we were able to make significant progress, as the Omani foreign minister said in his statement, and he checked his statement with both sides, and both sides agreed with the term he used, and we were made really significant progress. They were happy when they left, but I don't know what happened after.
Like, dude, it doesn't really matter if they had like a little secret meeting or private meeting, like begging for like asylum. It doesn't matter about that. What it matters is that how long will it take for it to stop the war, or how long will the war continue?
Trump caught lying, guys. What the fuck?
Like,
what the fuck is Trump doing out here lying about that shit?
They left.
You got Donald Trump saying on a scale from 1 to 10, the Iranian war right now is a 15. We'll play this clip.
And we're doing very well on the war front, to put it mildly, I would say. Somebody said, on a scale of 10, where would you rate it? I said about a 15. And we're going to continue to do well. We have the greatest military in the world by far.
And then lately, Donald Trump continues to talk about how he doesn't think he's going to heaven. And lots of people are wondering, by saying you're not going to heaven, like, are you thinking about death a lot lately? Are you thinking about your own demise? One of the reasons Donald Trump gave for invading Iran is he said that the Ayatollah was going to kill him. So he had to kill the Ayatollah first. That was one of the things that Trump said. And he keeps talking about death and dying. And is he going to die soon? And is he going to go to heaven? And then today he brought in all these like religious extremists who he surrounds himself with. And they did like this weird prayer for him. Play this clip.
We pray for your continued blessing and favor to rest upon him. We pray for wisdom from heaven to flood his heart, his mind, and Lord, you will guide him.
In addition to bringing in the Miami team, Donald Trump also brought in Alex Rodriguez, former baseball player. He brought in A-Rod. Why are you bringing in A-Rod? We're at a war. What the hell are you doing? Oh, in front of the Miami team, he also started whining that the election was rigged. He goes, it's rigged. It's all rigged. Here, play this clip right here.
I didn't know that I'd be the president doing this because the election was rigged and stolen, and I had to do it all again. And then I said, hey, wait a minute. I just got soccer/football, and I just got the Olympics, so we got most important. I took credit for those two. Then I tried to take credit for 250 years. And it didn't play well at all with the press.
And then, again, the day or two ago where he was supposed to be addressing the war, he started talking about the drapes and the ballroom and what great drapes and what a great ballroom he has. Here, play this clip.
See that nice drape? When that comes down right now, you see a very, very deep hole. But in about a year and a half from now, you're going to see a very, very beautiful building. And there's your entrance to it right there. In fact, it looks so nice, I think I'll save
Trump
money on the doors.
Room for bouncers?
Because it can't get more beautiful than that. I picked those drapes in my first term. I always like gold, but I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains. But, and it'll be spectacular. It'll be the most beautiful ballroom. I believe it's because I built many a ballroom. I believe it's going to be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world. And when you hear all that hammering out there, you know why the First Lady is not thrilled exactly. She said, will the pile drivers ever stop? You know, they go from 6 in the morning till 11:30 in the evening. Can you imagine? Here? You know what? To me, that's a beautiful sound. She doesn't like it. I love it. You know what? To me, other than here, because we're donating it, not a penny to the taxpayer.
And finally, I want to give you just the full exchange so you could see it yourself of Congressmember Keating examining.
First off, why is this dude even pointing that out? Like, honestly, isn't that kind of useless?
It makes no sense, bro.
To point something out like that, like.
Get back to the war with Iran, my guy. Why are we talking about
Why
ballroom?
are we talking about ballroom drapes, bro? Who's the old fuck here, dude? Like,
Like, dude.
Trump is clearly just like ranting
himself.
about that randomly, just to create small talk. You know, that's not something that that shows like he's fucking retarded or anything. You know, like, bro, what are you talking about?
And wait, isn't this about Trump's health too? Like, what does the barb have to do with Trump's health? He's using his own money to build that shit, bro. Like, he's not even using our taxpayer money.
Tripping, bro.
Bro, just pointing out
the Undersecretary of Defense.
He's just yapping for the 20 minutes.
Elbridge Colby, just so you could see it for yourself. Here, play this clip.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Man, we need
Mr.
to do
Colby,
a 24 hours
you
Trump
said
impression.
throughout this hearing that you're consulting with the president, the vice president regularly, great conversations. In fact, you said that you don't do, this is, I think, your earlier testimony today, you do not do anything not aligned with the president. So I have a question for you. In last July, it was reported that your office suspended U.S. weapons shipments to Ukraine, including but not limited to precision-guided rockets, 155 munitions, and Patriot missiles. And this risked Ukraine lives. It undermined our credibility, not just with.
Why are we talking about you giving weapons to Ukraine? We've been doing that shit for the past 4 years. Why are we calling that shit out? Because Trump is doing it.
Ukraine, but with our allies, the 50 countries that are part of this alliance. And it made it harder to get to an end to this war. And this decision seemingly took place out of nowhere. Now,
bro, say hard to end the war, bro. Like, the war has been going on for 40 years,
at
bro.
your
Damn.
office. Yet the president was asked about this a few days later in the Oval Office, and he denied making any order to suspend this. He said, I'll be the first to know. In fact, most likely I'll give the order, but I haven't done that yet. So the president, who you're in consultation with all the time and you're always aligned with, well, he disagreed with this. He said he didn't do anything. He said it didn't happen, even though it did. And it's your office. So tell us who made that decision. Did the president make the decision the way he alluded to, or did you make that decision? Now, the president said from the Oval Office that he didn't make that decision. So who did? Who made that decision that caused such great risk that I just outlined to you? Was it you, sir?
Would you like
Since
to
it's
answer
your
it,
office.
or no? Yeah.
Can I?
Would you like to answer?
Let me respond
ready?
to that. Actually, let me respond to that. I'll take it from here.
I go.
All
Okay.
right, fuck Ukraine. Okay, they can deal with their own bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck Iran. We're gonna kill them.
Yeah.
Fuck Israel because they're just our enemy's enemy. You know.
Yeah.
So
we're just keeping them close.
You just got to keep them close. All right. Other than that, bro, what's the big deal here?
They're no big deal. America #1.
Well, let me just clarify something, sir. I'm particularly focused on my interactions with the secretary who interacts with the president. So just to be clear, not to overstate my access to the president, I wouldn't presume to do so. But obviously, we make a point of staying.
You don't appear in concert with the president on this.
I'm aligned, totally aligned with the presidential.
Well, then explain.
I can answer your question.
Explain how you weren't aligned in this instance.
Well, sir, I think we are aligned, and I'll get to that in a second. First of all, I'm not in the chain of command, so I can't order something. I wouldn't.
It was your office. So tell me who
there is
made that suspension.
There is a memorandum, as has been described before, that lays out a framework for making intelligent decisions.
No, I don't want this is retarded,
that the secretary can recommend to the president.
And
then
they literally sent this guy in so he could just stall them.
Rage bait.
So he could just rage bait these guys, dude.
Bro, just
please, I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman. You're getting a chance, maybe, that you're not getting all morning, to deal with a specific instance, a specific time that requires.
These other two are just bored. They're on their phone. Look at them.
Yeah, they're just scrolling. But like, what's happening right now, guys?
So don't be policy, a framework.
Well,
I'm asking you, who the hell made that decision that endangered so many people's lives?
So there's a memorandum.
You're like the 3 months.
Sir, can you let him answer, please?
But then again, who is actually being endangered? Okay, because like technically, it's a war between Israel, Iran.
Everyone's in danger.
No evil,
pause,
evil.
The alleged pause, we did not. I'm not in a position to order a pause. I didn't order.
Then who did?
Presume to order a pause. I don't actually know.
I did. And this is the only way we're going to stop China.
Stop the Chinese.
I'm not sure. I can get back to you with
how can you be in your position?
One thing
in your office, sir.
Do we really want them to have AI and make another fucking COVID-19? But this time it's going to be COVID fucking 99.
6-7.
Okay? And by then you're dead.
This is your office. This is your responsibility.
I'm a
You
policy
can't tell me
advisor,
who made a decision like that jeopardized the lives of so many people.
The framework in the memorandum
I don't-
is not designed to.
I don't want the
aid
framework.
for-
That's
what we provided for a second. And sir, what
I asked you.
Someone help this old
What
man.
I
I didn't ask you about the.
This old man's cortisol's got, dude, his heart rate is going through the
Bro,
roof.
he might have a
Bro's
stroke.
about to have a heart attack.
Framework. You're trying to talk over me.
initiative,
It's my
which has
question
provided
to you.
Ukraine
Who?
an ongoing way with weapons. In fact,
bro, just
sold by
an
the
hour
United
now.
States in line with presidential intent, which I
All right,
continue
let me
to
move
agree
on
with.
here.
And I had the privilege
let
to
me move
represent
on
the
with the
department at the
chairman asked a
UDCG
question
last
to
month.
you about the movement of troops just days before we were going to have something in the national.
I like how the other guy's just staying calm, bro. Like,
He was like, I ain't
NDAA.
get paid enough for this shit,
no,
bro.
he's getting paid to do that, literally, to rage bait this
requiring
guy.
consultation with us. But you moved 700 to 1,000 troops out of
I'll let
Romania.
the
Why
other guy
Romania?
next to me.
Sir, we made the Secretary ordered a decision, obviously in line with presidential intent, to repurpose our forces based on.
Well, let me ask you a
advice I
question because
talked
I'm
about
running
with
out
the
of
chairman
time.
as
Let me
well.
ask you a question.
So,
Are you have good conversations with the vice president? Were you aware that the vice president gave scathing attack on Romania about their elections in Munich? Did that have anything to do why you singled out why Romania was singled out for these troops to be moved?
Sir, I'm not going to go into particular deliberations, but we make
that's what-
decisions.
You're gonna rage bait,
Bro,
bro.
this is actually rage baiting, bro.
What
We
you're
make
here
the
for, sir,
recommendation
with all
to
due
the
respect,
Secretary and ultimately
you're
the
here in
President
front of
based
this
on military
committee.
logic.
Wait,
Consistent
he's
with
holding his
the
laughter. I see that little smirk,
National
bro.
defense strategy.
Information
and
about
national
deliberations.
security.
Then what are you doing here in front of us?
I'm trying to communicate with you, sir.
Well, you're not doing a good job. I yield back.
You're not doing
There
a
you
good
have it,
job.
folks.
Oh, grandma about to be end up in the ICU, but someone fucking get him off the stage.
You
Nah.
can tell the Trump team don't want to even talk to these guys. Okay, they
Yeah.
sent this dude in to just be like a scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. And thank you all so much for
6
watching.
million subscriber full
6
retards.
million, 6 million retards over here, all right, guys?
Aye.
Holy, all they do is
Like-
fucking talk about and dick ride Trump all day long, and then they act like they fucking hate his guts.
Yeah, like what the
Like
fuck?
all you're doing, every fucking video's on fucking Trump's bullshit. Like literally the only reason y'all did well was fucking because of Trump, dude. And then you're just fucking hating, dogging on him this whole fucking time. Look, every fucking thumbnail.
How old is this? 5 years
They
ago.
figured out the strat that if I put Trump in it, bro, I'm gonna get hella views, bro.
Mhm.
And
And then
they've been running the fucking this fucking clown show for fucking 5+ years, just putting Trump in a thumbnail and hating on him,
Like,
bro.
don't you ever get bored? At some point, you just have
Holy
to get bored,
shit.
dude. Like at some point, that's actually insane. How much is he getting paid for this shit?
Bro, he's getting paid, bro.
Like how much? Like goddamn, bro.
Bro, he getting paid, bro. He getting paid, bro.
I mean, I guess if I'm getting paid, I'd be hating Trump too every fucking 5 years, bro.
If 5 years, you're getting paid, bro. You're
Like,
getting
dude.
paid. This is your full time. If you're doing this shit for 5 years, bro.
Imagine your full-time job is just to
Holy.
hate Trump, bro. That's actually insane.
Sad, bro. Sad, bro. Go fucking
Like,
do.
go contribute to
something
the society,
useful,
bro. Go contribute to society. Stop calling Trump out for bullshit
Don't
and
need
then
your
go
fucking
do something about it.
propaganda.
Disinformation,
Here we go,
and
we
we
got
need
another
to, of
bullshit.
course,
Alright,
verify
man, I
it.
don't
But
want to watch this motherfucker no more,
Look,
bro.
he got Trump. Look, all he talks about is fucking Trump, and then he fucking says, "I hate Trump," but then all he does is fucking make these propagandistic ass videos, bro.
information that the
And he's
U.S.
taking
Army has
random-ass clips out
abruptly
of
canceled a
proportion.
major training exercise for the
Bro
headquarters
is the
element of the
embodiment
82nd
of X.com. Actually, fake news.
Airborne Division at Fort Bragg in North
No, X
Carolina.
doesn't have fake news. If anything, like fucking like
It's over exaggerated.
Facebook has fake news.
No, there's a lot of X that fake news.
Fueling speculation within the Defense Department that soldiers specializing in ground combat and a range of other missions may be sent to the Middle East to join the war against Iran. Sources are telling this to the Washington Post. As you may
Like,
know,
damn, my
the
cortisol
82nd
is
Airborne
fucking
Operations Brigade
spiking.
combat team, consisting of several thousand soldiers, which alongside elements of the U.S. Air Force are kept on high alert, allowing them to undertake an airborne deployment on 18 hours notice with no prior warning for missions as varied as seizing airfields and other critical infrastructure to evacuation, known more commonly as the Immediate Response Force. And this follows, I think, the Trump regime falsely leaking to members of the press that the Kurds were doing a ground invasion of Iran, to which the Kurdish leaders said that's absolutely false. Now, we have a lot of military reporters just trying to get information about what the hell is going on. Thomas Nobley explains 2 days ago, IS CENTCOM detailed questions about space operations and forces in the region. I just got one response back today. See attached our Operation Epic Fury fact sheet. It's the 72-hour fact sheet. The war has been going on for 6 days. And as the war continues to go on, Seems like Russia and China have already been drawn into this thing, providing details about where American military assets are located. According to 3 U.S. officials who spoke to the Washington Post, Russia has provided Iran with intelligence on locations of U.S. ships, aircraft, personnel, and assets in the Middle East in what has been described as a pretty comprehensive effort. When asked earlier this week about the influence of China or Russia in the conflict with Iran, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth responded, they're not really a factor here. In addition to intelligence support and targeting data provided to Iran by Russia, the United States has also received intelligence suggesting that China may be preparing to join the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, providing Iran with financial assistance, spare parts, and missile components. 3 people familiar with the matter told CNN China relied.
Yeah, this war's usually not worth it because honestly, you're playing against like 2 big players, which is Russia and China. And for America, like we just don't have the fucking time to even worry about that shit right now. Like, yes, you're trying to slow them down a bit, especially Chinese. Like, that's like the whole core of this whole war, right? Is to slow down the Chinese. But then again, they have the backing. Iran has the backing of China and Russia, bro. At that point, it's just not worth for us to even like stick our hand to help Israel or anything, you know?
Is heavily on Iranian oil and has reportedly been pressuring Tehran to allow a safe passage for vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. And Donald Trump called into CNN and many other reporters today to say on a scale from 1 to 10, he believes the war in Iran is a 12 or a 15. Then he called Jonathan Karl at ABC and said, don't you love my, quote, performance? Did you love my performance? Direct quote. In Venezuela, my performance in Iran is better, isn't it? Then Donald Trump's been posting images of Bill Maher all morning. He keeps posting these weird images of Bill Maher. Oil prices through the roof. In the last 9 hours, the price increased $12 per barrel. We're now at $92.50. This could hit $100 a barrel today. While the United States is also...
It's more of just like hype and stuff, you know? Like that doesn't really like affect oil prices because it's just hype. People are just pumping money into these futures to hype it up.
Saying that our Air Force bases, United Arab Emirates, really aren't hit and our facilities are fine. We start to see photos like this, and it seems pretty clear that we're just getting lied to. So we got to make...
Yeah, it's a fucking tent, buddy. You act like that's a fucking concrete base of ours or like a fucking warship or some shit, you know? Come on,
sense
bro.
of this. We're not getting intelligence. This is the least intelligent regime imaginable. So here to help us...
Seeing is good. None. You know, you were talking, Ben, the one thing we know for sure is that it's not going to end that way.
Unconditional surrender. And Jinping knows that.
President J.D. Vance saying, you should say thank you. President saying you have no cards to play. And what happened this week? Hat in hand. They go to Zelensky and say, we don't know how to defend against the Iranian drones. And you know a little something about that. Can you please help us? Again, a screenwriter in Hollywood would not dream of that script. But that is how low this president has reduced our country to that sort of depravity.
Yeah, but Congressman, as we are now begging Zelensky, help us with how to figure out how to shoot down the Shahid drones, how to shoot down the ballistic missiles, Donald Trump then gives another interview to Politico, and Caroline Levitt holds a press conference where he again calls Zelensky P.T. Barnum and says that Putin's the one who wants to make a deal and Zelensky's the person who's holding this up. I mean, even 24 hours ago, while we need Ukraine's assistance, while we asked for it, Donald Trump's still out there yesterday saying positive things about Putin and Xi Jinping. It's crazy.
And, you know, 2 interesting things, right? This is what happens when a leader succeeds in surrounding themselves with people who won't tell them the truth. People whose sole objective, morning, noon, and night, is to praise the dear leader. This is what happens. Nobody says, Mr. President, a war in the Middle East is going to lead to an increase in oil prices, which is very rapidly going to lead to an increase in gasoline prices. Mr. President, you ran...
Are you dumb? America has so much fucking energy that it already produces on its own.
A race saying you would bring costs down and not get involved in wars. And you're about to get involved in a war that will dramatically raise costs. No one can say that to him. And I see that in the Congress of the United States.
But then again, not worth it. Not worth it.
Just 24 hours ago, Ben.
We'll see where this leads in a couple months.
The House Republican majority said no to the House of Representatives considering this war. Not because we want to, but because the Constitution demands it. It is the Constitution that we swear allegiance to that demands that the representatives of the people actually debate and authorize this stuff. And it's, look, forget about the words of the Constitution. The reason the Constitution says that is we're doing the most serious thing that the United States can do. We've already lost 6 precious lives of our servicemen. Gasoline prices are spiraling. The economy is headed downhill. And there is a reason why the framers said, when you take that decision, it's not one dyspeptic person in an Oval Office. It's not a king. It is the representatives of the people. And half of the representatives of the people said, no, thank you yesterday.
Yeah, so you have Donald Trump betraying the Kurds in Syria, betraying the Kurds, I think, during his first term as well. You have Donald Trump betraying the pro-democracy protesters in Iran last month or 2 months ago when they were out protesting. And Trump said, get out there. I got your back. If one of you gets killed, we will protect you. By some estimates, it's more than 30,000 Iranian protesters who were massacred. And now Donald Trump's like, all right, do it again. Okay, do it again, while Marco Rubio and Donald Trump are saying, we wanted regime change. Now we don't want regime change. And so literally Axios over the wire while we've been doing this interview, Rubio tells Arab foreign ministers that Washington's goal is not regime change, and that it just wants some different people to run the country. A different crew. So yeah, before it was, Ayatollah Khomeini. Now his son, Mojaba, was more extreme than the Ayatollah. Let's mission accomplished. And by the way, if you're listening to, of course you are, and you're listening to more stuff than I get to hear. I wish I got to hear the stuff that you got to hear. But what the Iranian foreign minister is saying, what their National Security Council, head is saying, they know that they actually have Trump and the other countries in the Middle East kind of cornered and scared now. And yes, we are, and if anything I'm saying wrong, check me on it. But yes, we're bombing the shit out of Tehran. We're hitting it. We're bombing it. By the way, we're also hitting targets that we need to really reflect upon as a nation, because it does seem we also hit a elementary school for little girls. And I don't know if that's also caused by AI picking out these targets, because there was an Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps building nearby. But, this
we got to strike fear in those kids.
By all accounts, this elementary school was
they ain't too spoiled. We got to teach them what's right and wrong.
And tragically, 165 little girls and their teachers got killed in this thing. But yeah, we are bombing Iran. But what actually seems to be happening, there's more radicalization there. And it's not
I like he has to use little girls to make people fucking feel sad for this.
Yeah, what about the little boys, bro?
What about all the fucking, the kids that the terrorists fucking terrorized for years on years on years and killed, bro?
Like, what happened to them?
What happened to them?
Achieving any, fundamental military.
Well, what about the teachers that work there?
Did the U.S. hit a elementary school
in Iran?
We're gonna fact check this.
yes, there was a strike on elementary, blah blah. Casualty: 200 kids die, mostly young girls. Damn, this is natural selection, then, bro.
Rip to those kids.
Military. I don't know what to talk to us and make sense of this for me.
Well, back to your point about betraying the Iranian people. I have a theory on how this ends, and I'm willing to make a small bet on it. The next couple of weeks, you're going to see oil go across 100. In fact, may happen today, $100 a barrel. That is going to translate into very high prices at the pump for the American consumer. God forbid, but there's some chance we're going to see additional loss of life in our service members in the region. Projections for the economic growth are going to go down because that happens when you can't get oil. And at some point in 3, 4, 5 weeks, the president's going to realize, and he's going to look at the numbers, and he's going to say, this is really not tenable. And he's going to declare victory and walk away. And what he's going to say is, look, we had a couple of objectives. We said we're going to get rid of the Navy. The Navy's at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. We're going to get rid of the missile launchers. That's a little harder. We got rid of a lot of them, but we did that. Oh, and by the way, we set back the nuclear program that 6 months ago I told you was obliterated, but now it's set back. Anyway, and he's going to say, our great patriotic, now we're going to make Iran great again. And he's going to declare victory and walk away. And maybe the attention of the American public will fade, but what will have been achieved is that you will have replaced a very bad supreme leader, killed him, replaced him with his son, who is more radical than he is, and by the way, committed to the creation of a nuclear weapon. You will have a wounded animal of a vicious regime. If there's one thing more dangerous than an animal, it's a wounded animal. And you will have stirred that, if I can continue to use too many metaphors, you will have kicked that hornet's nest literally adjacent to the arteries that allow for 25% of the world's energy consumption to move. So that's the scenario I see. And at the end of the day, one of the most tragic elements of that will be that the people who suffer most will be the Iranian people, who briefly, because of the expectations that this president set, briefly saw freedom, only to have it snatched away and to find themselves now under the rule of somebody who was much more vicious than his father ever was.
Yeah, and as this continues to spiral out of control, we gotta have you back. We gotta chat more about everything that's that's going on here. So we appreciate your time. And I was also going to say, though, if you look at the region too, it's also shit. I mean, if you're Doha, Qatar, if you're Abu Dhabi, if you're Dubai, and you built this, you tried to build this facade of safety and business and tourism, and then when everybody knows that at any point in time now, Iran has the capability to do that, and that region in a second can be like that, and that creates systemic issues, right? Within the country.
We don't have time to make the list. We haven't talked about Bahrain, where the American 5th Naval Fleet is based, right?
Yeah, but then again, America's only. Why are you white fucks still in America? Then if America's so fucking bad too, then right? Because Trump is in office and America's so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys go somewhere else too then?
Yeah. And guess what? These guys are all business owners, okay? If anything, they're fueling into the American economies. So they're supporting America.
Like, what are you talking about? Why are you hating on the fucking like this war shit, Trump shit, when clearly America's the safest place on earth? Why? Because we have the best fucking weapons, and we use them time to time to strike fear.
The Sunni king of Bahrain may get overthrown by the Shiites, who are now acting on behalf of Iran. I mean, again, we just don't have enough time to.
When you don't have fear in office, and you don't have a great leader that's willing to do whatever, like to show proof that he's actually a thug, You get a leader like fucking Byron over here, Joe Byron, and then you see what happens when fucking Putin tries to take over fucking Ukraine, It's like
people died.
Millions die, after that. Like come on, bro. It's like,
and the casualty for this war is like what, around like 200?
go through the.
What's the number of casualties over this war so far?
I don't know, but look,
it's like smaller than the fucking Ukraine war.
Look,
and the Ukraine war been going on for 5 years.
We as America have to show our dominance, because if we don't show our dominance, Russia starts taking action. They start wanting Ukraine. They start fucking trying to eat everything up too. And then China is going to do the exact same thing with Taiwan, bro.
We're going to get fucking stomped on.
List of horribles, which at this point in time are.
Nah, we will never get stomped on.
No, I say we don't do anything about it.
Because we have great presidents that come in and fucking use these weapons to fear monger.
Are more likely than not.
Well, let me just quickly ask you there, because I can't leave the people
You know,
hanging
famous guy
about
once
Bahrain
says, "I'm gonna nuke the shit out of them."
Being toppled by the Shiites. I gotta just quickly drill down before. What do you think the status of that is? Because we've seen Bahrain be attacked. We know about the sectarian issues. What's the big concern there? But it's a big concern not just in Bahrain though, right? In Iraq and all these areas with these sectarian issues that have been. This is why other presidents, when pressured by Netanyahu, didn't do this. But we're seeing some of these sectarian issues. Bahrain, elsewhere. Just before we go, if you can.
Yeah. So I mean, in the particular case of Bahrain is governed by a Sunni king, the Khalifa family, who, let's just not say, they're not exactly Jeffersonian in their liberalism, and they've been pretty brutal to the Shiite majority in that country. And well before this, there's always been riots and that sort of thing. And now, of course, the Shiite.
We're done with these. We're done with this dude. We're done with this dude.
Bro,
Oh,
I'm
God.
just losing brains up just listening to him talk, bro. Like, he's actually rage baiting me. My cortisol is going up. I'm about to have a stroke at this point.